I am so happy that we have technology so that we can still stay connected. You're seeing me now. Hopefully later on this week I'll be able to see some of you through our online classes. And this is an opportunity for us to really develop a sense of spiritual longing and thirst for some of those things that we might have taken for granted. I'm talking about coffee and donuts after Mass. I'm talking about showing up at 10:15 to a teacher, a catechist, and some volunteers welcoming you, greeting you with a warm smile. I'm talking about the games and the snacks that the kids enjoy in class. I'm talking about the most important thing that we can ever do here at Prince of Peace, the most important thing we can do in our lives, which is come together to celebrate the holy sacrifice of the Mass, the Eucharist. If you're longing and missing that, I just encourage you to try to find the one silver lining in all of this. This is an opportunity for us to think and reflect. We have a lot of time to do it. What is truly the most valuable in my life? What do I need to have on the boat with me? What is essential? And what is just dead weight, holding me back, bringing me down? What is actually distracting me from my ultimate goal, my eternal calling? Perhaps you're not missing Sunday Mass as much because you haven't necessarily been coming with your family. Well, I can tell you that this is an incredible, incredible opportunity for you to realize that what we have here is a true gift from God. This is a time where the Bishop John Noonan has asked us to participate in the Mass through online streaming or through television, and he's asked us to do a spiritual communion. And the spiritual communion is a wonderful and ancient practice in the church that for us seems kind of new because we're kind of spoiled. We can receive communion every Sunday. In fact, we can receive communion every day. It hasn't always been like that in the life of the church. And of course, there have been previous pandemics and plagues, wars, and serious, long persecutions that have kept Christians from being able to come and celebrate the Eucharist. And so the practice of spiritual communion has been around for a long time. And in fact, if you don't know anything about spiritual communion, I normally don't recommend Wikipedia for anything, because particularly related to the faith, because there can be some unreliable information there. But the Wikipedia article on spiritual communion is actually right on. It's awesome. So just go ahead and Wikipedia this. Google this, spiritual communion in the Catholic Church. St. Thomas Aquinas had a real awesome definition for what spiritual communion is. He says, it is an ardent desire to receive Jesus in the most holy sacrament and lovingly embrace him as if we have already received him. We can do a spiritual communion every day. We can do spiritual communion multiple times during the day. It's simply a prayer or an act of devotion where we ask Jesus, we express to Jesus our desire to be united to him. And we tell him we desire to be united to him in the Blessed Sacrament, in the Holy Eucharist, as soon as we can, as soon as possible. And because we are at that moment unable to receive him in the Holy Eucharist, in Holy Communion, we ask him to be with us, to commune with us, to come together with us spiritually. Isn't that awesome? Isn't that beautiful? Many saints have not only practiced this, but they have taught it. Perhaps you feel a little bit like you're disconnected from church. St. John Vianney says, if you're feeling cold, a spiritual communion can help you grow closer to God. St. Teresa of Avila said, doctor of the church, said, it is a most beneficial practice. So it is a simple prayer. And there are many prayers you can look up online. The Bishop of Orlando has given us a wonderful prayer for spiritual communion. But you can also look that up, or you can also say your own prayer to Jesus. And it's nothing more than saying, Jesus, I truly believe that you are present in the Holy Eucharist, in your body, blood, soul, and divinity. And I cannot receive you right now for whatever reason, but I long to be with you. I long to receive you. I long to be united with you. Please come to me now spiritually and help me never to be separated from you. This is something that, though it certainly is not at all the same as receiving Jesus sacramentally in the Holy Eucharist, it is something that can be a means of God's grace. Because it is important for us to remember, if we remember from our own faith formation, or perhaps we've never heard this, but God gives us his grace through the sacraments, but he is not limited to working through the sacraments. God's grace is not bound to the sacraments. We are bound to the sacraments, but God can work outside of the sacraments. God can even work outside of the church. And that's why we believe that only Catholics will go to heaven. God's not limited in what he can do. We are bound to do what Jesus told us to do. We are bound to do this, as he said, in memory of him, to celebrate the Eucharist and to attend every Sunday. We are asked to do that. But temporarily, the bishop has the authority to suspend what's called the Sunday obligation, because out of concern for the spread of this COVID-19 coronavirus, the bishop has, and all the bishops of Florida, and now really all the bishops of the United States, and most of those around the world, have closed the churches, suspended masses, out of concern for public health. I think this is a wonderful thing to do to show how pro-life we are. But of course, God knows that our souls are far more important than our mortal bodies. And so while we are distanced and separated from the church and from the sacraments, we don't cease to be the church of God, the church of Jesus Christ. And so we do spiritual communion in our homes. If you have not had the opportunity to watch a televised Mass or follow online, I encourage you on Sunday mornings or Saturday evening or Sunday evening, whenever you want, on what's liturgically considered Sunday, everything from Saturday evening to after 4 p.m. all the way to Sunday night. Make sure you are following online or watching on television the Mass. And I encourage you to gather your family, and just as you would when you come to Prince of Peace or whatever parish you go to, that you would prepare yourselves, try to show up early to that airing of the Mass, and make sure you're able to prepare yourselves for the celebration of the Eucharist. And at the time of Holy Communion, you can do the spiritual communion that I'm speaking of. I encourage you to do that. And then when you can come back, and we can all come back and celebrate the Holy Eucharist together, it's going to be glorious. It's going to be awesome. I know I'm going to cry. I don't know about you, but I'm not afraid to say that this is unlike anything I've ever experienced. And I'm looking forward to that day when we can have truly a resurrection. And I know Easter is right around the corner, but Easter is not just a day. In the Catholic Church, we celebrate Easter for a total of 49 days, beginning with Easter Sunday. So I have the hope that during Easter, the Easter season, we're going to experience a resurrection as a parish, as a nation, as a society. I hope that you have found this to be beneficial. If you don't receive my emails, please send me an email. Go to your email and email me. My email address is D as in David, O, D as in David, so DOD at princeofpeaceormond.com. DOD at princeofpeaceormond.com. Email me and I'll gladly make sure you get added to the email list. I apologize if you haven't been getting the emails. Our website is an incredible resource at this time. Our parish website is www.princeofpeaceormond.com. We are live streaming and also showing recordings of our daily Mass, which happens at 12:10 p.m. and it's recorded from our chapel. On Sundays, we have our Sunday Mass at 10 a.m., but you can watch it at any time after that. And we also have Saturday morning daily Mass at 9 a.m. On the Prince of Peace website, you can also find a beautiful video of the prayer of the Divine Mercy Chaplet sung. You can also see a wonderful Eucharistic rosary that we recorded right here in our chapel, our Eucharistic Adoration Chapel here at Prince of Peace, and more that will be coming to you. We are doing everything we can to learn a lot of new technology that we have never had to explore before in order to make sure that you and us, that we can all stay connected as a parish and connected to God. Thank you for watching. God bless you. Stay tuned for updated information. Thank you for watching.